Going to be learning how to draw isometric circles by hand. Reason for that is because IsoCircle templates only go up to 2.5 inches. We will have several exercises that require larger circles while in the isometric form, so we're going to be learning how to do certain steps in order to complete those. So in your folder you should have found a 4-center ellipse, construction sheet. And while this is really helpful to help you see the orientation of which way the circles should go, on the back side of the sheet are the step-by-step instructions on how to achieve that. I went through with colored pencils and I color-coded each step for myself because I'm more of a visual person that way anyway. And it helps me to see what needs to happen during each step of the process. So we're going to walk through these steps. Instead of doing just a 2-inch circle, I'm going to go for a 4-inch circle, just because, again, the entire purpose of practicing these is because our template doesn't go up that big. So here we go. Remember, for isometrics, we're going to want to use a 30-degree triangle, 30, 60, 90, in order to create our items. Step 1 of our process for this is to create the center point. Now, typically you've been drawing your object and then you find where the center of that circle is supposed to be, and you can build from there. But since all we're doing in this tutorial is learning how to draw the circles, I'm just drawing a big cross that I can use for the center point. So that's where the center of my 4-inch circle will go. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a box that is the size of the circle that I am trying to achieve. Okay, so I'm measuring out 2 inches in each direction. And these should be done with 5H pencil. Everything should be construction lines. I always make my lines dark on my tutorial so I know for a fact that you can see them. So just kind of remember that you're going to be keeping everything nice and light. Oops, I have 2 marks there. I'm going to double check to make sure I know which one I need to go with. Okay. And it's very important right from the beginning to be measuring very carefully for each of these measurements. You want to make sure that you don't have to take time to go back and remeasure and remove and redo all the different lines. It just takes an excessive amount of time to revise versus initially invest in making the measurements. So here is my box, is my 4-inch square. And what I'm going to do next, according to my step process, I'm going to take some lines from the large corners of this diamond, okay, of my box, and I'm going to connect it to the different, to the axis points on the opposite sides. So for the first one, oops, there we go. Okay, so I took the large corners of my diamond and I connected it across and down to where the axis is hitting, and I did the same from the other one going out. So that was step 3. In step 4, you're going to take your compass and set one end at the corner of the square and the other end at one of those 2 axes, and you're going to arc it. So I'm going to set my compass right there at the very end. Okay, and I arced it. Now since this is a 4-inch square, I shouldn't have to adjust the size of that compass. I just need to pick it up and move it to the other intersection. Okay. And there is step 4. So I have the larger part of my isometric circle created. And finally, in step 5, where those crisscrosses, I mean, I don't even need to draw these lines in order to know to set my compass from here to here, but the main purpose of these lines is to find this center point here, which is going to close in the smaller part of my isometric circle, okay, that intersection. So now I'm going to take my compass and I'm going to be very careful to make sure I'm putting that exactly in the center of that intersection. Use my wheel to adjust the opening of the 2 legs on the compass. There you go. And that side's closed, and now I do the same thing over here. Okay. And now I have created a 4-inch isometric circle using my compass and not the template.